How's it going, Reef Keepers? I had a chance to make a video before I got back to grading end semester essays tonight, and I was thinking about what kind of video I wanted to make all day. I wanted to get something out for people to enjoy over the weekend, and then I remembered that I never ended up making a video, and I had intended to, about how I got one of my local exotic veterinary clinics to agree to do a video appointment with me to look at my dying Acropora that was infested with gray bugs, and then based on that, video appointment, go ahead and release a prescription for Interceptor to me so that I could dose it to my tank. Now, unfortunately, before I could get paid again and be able to pay for the appointment, the Acropora that I had from Tidal Gardens that had arrived infested with gray bugs, it just completely tapped out on me. It was on its last legs, and I was like, you know what? Even if I got the Interceptor, they would die. I mean, they were too far gone. So I unfortunately didn't get to go through the video appointment idea that the vet came up with after I emailed them and told them, about the situation. And that's what I think you should do. So if you do get some gray bugs, red bugs, white bugs, whatever, those are known as ostracods, by the way, and otherwise known as seed shrimp. And these are, ancient ocean-dwelling creatures that have made it through tons of different upheaval throughout the course of the Earth's history. They're very resilient. Interceptor does kill them. That's what you want. And Interceptor is behind lock and key now. It used to be that you could get it online, but in talking to my vet, I learned that the reason they put it behind, basically the wall of veterinarians in this country is because if your dog, it's a heartworm medication, and if your dog has heartworms and you don't know it and you give your dog Interceptor, which is as I understand it, a preventative, then it can wreak havoc on them and it will kill them. I mean, there were tons of dogs dying this way from people just buying Interceptor, not knowing their dog had heartworms and just killing them by accident. So probably a good thing that it's, behind a wall of expertise now. However, frustrating for us reef keepers, right? By the way, I should mention before I tell you what I did to get my vet to agree to do an appointment and do a prescription, what I would do is if you have a dog, just take your dog for a run-of-the-mill appointment at a vet and just request Interceptor, and they will give it to you for sure. So if you have a dog, you're in good shape. I mean, you're going to pay like a regular appointment rate, but you have to pay a regular appointment rate the way that I was going to do it with this vet anyway. So here's how I did it. And I have a dog, but I approached it as though I didn't have a dog, kind of because I wanted to figure out how anybody could do this, right? I was kind of experimenting with the situation. So what I did was I Googled exotic veterinarians in my area, right? You want an exotic vet because they are more apt to not roll their eyes and turn away from somebody who's keeping some kind of, more exotic pet, like a sugar glider or a chinchilla or a reef tank full of Acropora coral, right? So they are more apt to open their minds and eyes and not be instantly, it's not a dog or a cat or a hamster or whatever. This isn't what we do. What's this guy with a reef tank reaching out to me for? You want people in the veterinary world who are unsurprised by the crazy things that people will keep, right? For us, coral. So instead of calling them on the phone and stammering through this crazy sounding explanation about, seed shrimp and Acropora coral and, this is the only way to kill them and can you give me some Interceptor, please, 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 I decided that probably the best bet for me getting Interceptor would be for me to use my writing skill, and I'm a writing teacher, so keep that in mind, would be for me to use my writing skill to write a long email explaining everything about this situation so that a veterinarian who is an educated individual could take their time and sit with it and not feel like they had to give me an instant answer and look things up on their own and come to a conclusion about whether or not they could help me. So it worked. The email that I sent to them, it worked. Here's what I'd recommend. One, make this a good email, right? Don't just pound it out like you're, sending an email to your buddy real quick about, whatever happened last night in whatever sports game or whatnot. As a society, I feel we've gotten pretty lazy, myself included, by the way, with people that we know. We've gotten lazy about keeping our keeping our writing like nice, neat, concise, direct. We just are kind of sloppy now. I'm applying that with a broad brush, but tighten up your language, right? And tighten up your grammar and tighten up your punctuation. You're sending this to a highly educated person and you need them to be on your side, right? So it's part of the presentation of it. You need to seem like you know what the heck you're talking about and you're not just, just crapping something out. So basically you want to take them through the entire situation, starting at the baseline. Tell them you're a reef keeper. Tell them what reef keeping is. Explain to them that you have a tank full of coral in your home, all right? Then explain to them that there's several kinds of coral, and the one that you are concerned about that has a targeted need for Interceptor due to attack by one certain pest is Acropora, the most delicate coral, blah, 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 blah. There are these things called ostracods or seed shrimp that can infest these corals, right? Explain this to them. Give them a link to a website that talks about red bugs, gray bugs, white bugs, ostracods. There's a whole Wikipedia page on ostracods. Give them some links so that they can do some quick reference. I sure did. And then continue on through by explaining that, look, it's not something we like to do, dosing the Interceptor to a tank. It does, wipe out some other, micro life in the tank that I wish it didn't. But unfortunately, these corals are too delicate, they're too expensive, and they're suffering because these things are burrowing into the tissue and into the corallites and irritating the corals to a point that they're starting to have tissue necrosis. And then, and this is, my vet came up with this, but you should add to the end of your email, it's near impossible for me to pull out colonies or frags and come and sit in a waiting room with them and not have them suffer more. So if it would help, I would be more than willing to set up a video appointment with you over Skype, over Zoom, over Microsoft Teams, FaceTime, whatever. Say, hey, whatever your preference is, I'll download that app and I would be more than happy to pay the general appointment rate and do a video appointment at your convenience to show you, because all of us have an HD camera in our pocket, to show you by zooming in right on it where this necrosis on the corals is occurring. And sometimes you can tell them, sometimes you can even see the seed shrimp if they come out of their little burrows on the coral's flesh. And by the way, if you have photographs that you can send, I whenever I could see the ostracods, I would zoom in, and for a couple days I took a series of photographs. I attached all those photographs as evidence to the email. Look, these are the things, these little grayish white dots. These are the things that are killing the coral. And you could clearly see in the photographs that the coral's suffering. So offer the video appointment, right? And send some backup photos with it. So my vet sat with it for my nearest exotic vet. They sat with it for 2 days. And then I get a call from the vet and they're like, wow, have never heard of this, have never had anybody call for something like this. But by the way, that happens all the time. And they specifically said, it would have felt like a challenge that maybe was outside of our wheelhouse if you hadn't explained it so well, but you explained it so well. And the links that you included further explained it. I read about these things. I went home and read about them. And yeah, we should set up a video appointment. It'll be whatever. I think they said it was going to be $100, maybe $90. But anyway, for like, you know, $100 bill or less, you know, depending on the rate of your, you know, a general care visit at your vet, that's basically what you can expect is, you know, and they don't even have to see you. It can just be a video appointment. You know, all they're doing is taking a little bit of time out of their day. So I think that that's probably your best bet for getting Interceptor. If you have no dog or cat or any, you know, something that requires Interceptor, that's a mammal, and you desperately need it and you're frustrated, like, how do I get this stuff? That's how you get this stuff. I mean, until it died on me and I had no need to do the appointment anymore, I mean, I was going to get Interceptor quite easily from these people. So that's my recommendation. If you need to get Interceptor, craft this email very carefully, attach some photographic evidence, get some links in there so that they can do a little bit of homework, and let them sit with it for a day or two before you start making calls like, hey, did you get my email? Like, let them sit with it. The vet will look at it. They're educated people, and they'll circle back to you. And this, as far as I can tell, is going to be the best way to go about, you know, getting your hands on this stuff in the United States of America right now. So that's it. Just wanted to take you guys through what I did in case you do get into a jam and somehow these awful bugs get into your tank and they're starting to affect your Acropora and you're panicking. This is a route, right? And if one vet doesn't work, try another vet. Look at the next farthest out exotic veterinarian. By the way, these people mentioned to me, this veterinarian said, it doesn't really, I said, if other people needed this, could they call you? And they basically said, it doesn't really matter. You know, like, we can do a video appointment and issue a prescription via email wherever. It doesn't really matter. So, like, basically what that means is poke around. You're going to find a vet, even if it's over a state line or something like that, you're going to find a vet who's willing to do it. Just copy paste that same email. If one vet says no, go to the next one. So don't give up. You know, had I probably gotten on that sooner, I'd probably have more Acro in my tank right now. Definitely. So, all right, guys, hope everybody has a great weekend, and I'll be back with some more video next week. You can see I got some new coral frags, so I'll be covering that. Have a good one, folks.